to be worried about.
You don't have with your girlfriend?
No.
Wait. Goodbye.
Andy has left the room.
Dear Shandy.
Welcome back to Dear Shandy listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good.
You're doing good?
Yeah, we're callers.
I know.
We got callers
We haven't done callers.
from all over the world.
Yeah, we have a very exciting caller today who is from another country on another continent, but we haven't done callers in a minute, and we're excited.
We haven't, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so our caller today is calling from the Netherlands. We're very excited. Hannah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Hello.
thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Do you mind giving us your age, the ages of anyone in question here, and your story, please?
Yeah, of course. I'm 33, so I'm in the Netherlands. My husband, who's in the story, is 34, and my girlfriend is 28. So that gives it away a bit because I've been married for almost 7 years, and we have 2 kids. But since a year, I also have a girlfriend, so I'm in 2 relationships, which still feels kind of weird.
I love the Netherlands.
Me too.
You got to get over
We were
there.
just saying before we hit record, we want to move there.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. I mean, it was already so juicy. Okay, let's hear what's going on.
It's not like it's normal here. People are still looking weird when I tell them. So,
Okay.
you know. So yeah, it took me a very long time to even be remotely okay with the idea of this, of having another relationship next to my marriage. I don't know. I'm very much be a good girl type, suburban bliss, be just married, be happy. That's it. Very monogamous. I never thought I would end up here, but I did. So had some long talks when I first fell in love with this, with my girlfriend, who was a colleague at the time. And I had some long talks with her, with my husband, and we ended up here. We're pretty happy, actually. Like, we're really happy with how it's going, which, I don't know, I say actually, but it's really great.
Wait, how is it going?
Yeah,
how functionally, how is this working? Are you like in a polyamorous relationship?
Yeah, and were you
or
looking
is it-
for this, or did it sort of like hit you? It sounds like you met someone and then it hit you. But
yeah, it was more like being hit with a truck. Yeah. No, it was it was very much like, whoa, okay, this is what it is. You know, I'm so in love with her. What's happening? How can we do this? So it took a pretty long time because I told her after a couple of months, she wasn't necessarily feeling the same way. Then at some point she was feeling the same way. And we're like, this is hopeless. We can't do anything about it. All the while I'm talking with my husband because we're always honest with each other. That's best
Love
policy,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is he taking it?
He is amazing. Like, he's the best. He was always like, okay, do what you have to do. At first he was like, it will blow over. It will be fine. No problems. I'm not worried. And I mean, there were some bumps along the way, but he's always been so supportive and he's so proud of how I'm doing it. And I feel, feel very loved by him, actually. He's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, he's great.
Is he also allowed to be another? Sorry, I know we're not even getting to your question yet, but there's a lot of logistical questions here.
Very interesting
I know.
stuff.
Is he allowed to be in his own separate relationship?
He doesn't really want to right now.
Okay.
He has had a fling here and there, but we've always talked about it. So, and I don't know, I have kind of a hard time with that, I have to say, which feels very hypocritical. But there's always the
just
like, here I am.
Just
It's
a
honest.
smidge.
I know. But can't help how you feel,
Sure,
right?
Sure.
The conversation is always open. So if he would ever want anything, I'm always open for that, and we will always talk about it. So
are you in a polyamorous relationship, or is this separate? You have your girlfriend and you have him, and it's separate.
it is kind of separate. I call it duogamous usually. It feels like I have two monogamous relationships.
Got it.
That's how it feels.
So
for
do
me.
they know each other? Or have they met and hung out?
Yeah. Yeah, they know each other. They like each other. They're great.
So sometimes you'll come with her and he'll be there and you'll just have a time together and that just happens?
And
Yes.
do you have like a primary partner, or are they like equal?
They're pretty equal, actually.
Wow.
Like, I keep talking with my girlfriend, like, we want to get married at some point. I mean, the law probably won't allow us, but other than that, you know, even in the Netherlands.
Yeah, you can get even in the Netherlands, right? Netherlands is like, wow, whoa, slow down.
Yeah.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, you've just brightened up our Thursday. We have like things just got a lot more
I think
interesting.
I would. Could we just turn it around and you're Dear Shandy and we just?
Sure, I wouldn't mind that.
Okay, so Hannah, what is your question today?
Yeah. So the main issue is because these people are great. Everyone's fine. Everyone's happy. My parents, however, not so much. So I told them 9 months in, and that was very shocking to them, which I understood because it's nothing. It's quite a bomb to drop on them. They didn't expect it at all. So I think they also saw me as the suburban bliss, like conventional person. And I was just like, okay, they need time. It's fine. I let it be. I let them have their feelings. We had a very long talk, which was uncomfortable for me. And I was almost like, okay, I have to just break up with my girlfriend to get out of here because I need them to feel okay with me and they're not. And it's too hard. And I really didn't want to break up at all, but it's hard with parents, I feel like.
Sure.
And there's a faith aspect there, especially from my father. So that also makes it kind of hard. And my mother's also very concerned with loyalty and what does this mean for your kids? Where is your loyalty when one of them gets sick? So they're very concerned.
How old are
I also
your
think
children?
they're 4 and 7.
Oh, okay. And are they aware of anything? Like what? I'm just curious.
I haven't explicitly told them, but I think they're pretty aware, actually.
Oh, really?
Like my husband sometimes says, well, someone likes Jess very much here, my girlfriend. And my son will be, yeah, mom. And it's like, okay, I think he's caught on.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so how long ago was this conversation with your parents when you first brought it up?
Like half a year ago.
And I take it it's not any better if you're calling in.
No, not really. No, they're just usually ignoring it. I think they're worried. We aren't really talking about it at all. I don't know. I feel kind of ashamed coming from there. They don't say that, but they don't want to tell their friends. And they're like, it's so difficult. And I don't know. My question is, how do I let my parents' feelings be and still be okay myself? Or like, I would really love them for just, can I make them accept me fully? That would be great.
Good luck.
That's a big question.
I know. Yeah.
Is there, I think we kind of covered this, but is there any chance in your heart that you could go one direction completely? Like leave your husband or leave your girlfriend? Do you feel that there's a possibility of that?
Well, there's always a possibility.
But I mean, do you feel, does it worry you? Does it keep you up at night? Do you think that that's a realistic?
No.
Okay.
No, this is what I want. Yeah.
I actually think that even that, it's like, that's not even what this question is about.
No.
Like,
but I'm trying to think from the parents' perspective because in the back of my head is her parents, aside from the religious aspect and the social stigma of this in their minds, I think they're thinking this is going to home wreck.
Yeah.
This is going to ruin the marriage. The kids are going to be screwed up. They're thinking that.
yes.
So if they can get some safety and comfort in this, that this is a actual workable solution for life, I think that would be a good starting point for them to slowly accept over many years what's happening here. But if they think, and I know that they think that this is going to ruin your marriage because they come from a different time, and I don't blame them, honestly, like even in the Netherlands,
my parents would also
in the
have
red light district of Amsterdam, there are people who are like, wait a second, a little much. So I think stemming from that question, I think if you could give them some very strong degree of comfort that this is a viable situation that is not going to ruin anything, then you can start the process of, I don't want to call it healing, that's not really fair, but the process of
acceptance, even if it's not embracing it.
Acceptance, right.
Yeah. Do you think your parents would be 1% more okay with this if it were a man, you had a separate boyfriend?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
So you think it's actually more okay for them that it's a woman?
Yeah, I think so. Possibly.
That's
I was just curious.
Oh, no, I think it's less threatening.
I'm trying to get to like the bottom, like the kernel. Have you ever, in your 33 years, really broken away from the status quo in your parents' eyes?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I get the impression that you're very close with them. I mean, there are a lot of 33-year-olds out there who would never tell their parents this.
Hard to hide, though, at this point.
I agree it's hard to hide, but I mean, I feel like half of my friends they could be in this exact same situation and they would just never tell their parents about the girlfriend. Sure. So I think what I'm saying is it shows a degree of closeness and trust, and the fact that it's bothering you as much as it is shows how much you value their approval and acceptance, and therefore how difficult, like it's heartbreaking.
I know. Yeah.
Because you love them and you want them to love you in all the forms that takes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they really love you deeply? Like, are you like a real, I don't know how to describe it. There's some children who they don't have a very close relationship with their parents. Their parents may want to dictate their lives, but there's not a lot of feelings, not of love. Do you have a very loving relationship with your parents?
Yeah, very loving. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very loving. And I feel like it's almost inconceivable that I wouldn't tell them this. So Shirley's very right. Yeah, I could never. Like the 9 months of my relationship that I didn't tell them, it was like torture. It was so hard. I was feeling like I was constantly hiding such a big part of me that felt so just wrong. So yes, we're pretty close. They're like 30 minutes from us. So it's also the Netherlands. Everything is small. So you can't hide from your parents, you know?
Have your parents met your girlfriend?
They have once before they knew she was my girlfriend.
I think personally there needs to be a meeting now that they know. And I think they need to get comfortable that she's a human, because right now in their eyes, she's kind of a monster in some ways. I think you need to humanize her.
She's a wrench.
She's a home wrecker.
Yeah, she's a wrench in what is otherwise like a very nicely laid out plan.
Yeah.
You know, everything is according to plan. I get the impression from you, from chatting for not very long, that you are extremely responsible.
That's very true.
Yeah, she's responsible. She's a dutiful daughter.
She's got her shit together to the point where she even has a polyamorous relationship completely together. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
You're really on top of your game.
You could like do TED Talks on this.
And you want to tie a bow on it and have your parents accept it.
That's a good point.
I think that your parents, I'm putting myself in your parents' shoes. The feeling I feel is anger. I want to put that anger somewhere. Where are they going to put that anger? They're going to put that anger not on you, but they love you. They don't want to feel that way towards you. They're going to put it on your girlfriend. So I think right now your girlfriend is enemy number one. And I just want to repeat that I think it's incredibly important for you to show them the enemy, to sit down, have a tea, be like, this is my girlfriend. She has, 2 eyes and a head, and she's nice, and she says things that are interesting, and she's loving, and she cares about me, and she's not a crazy person. And I think that that's super important. That's the first thing you have to do. And that stems from the other thing I was saying is that they have to understand that this is not a home wrecking situation, because you cannot get them out of that mindset by talking to them and telling them things. You have to show them the situation. So I think it's really important that, number one, you make them feel comfortable that this isn't going to end your marriage and hurt your children. And number two, you have to get them comfortable with the object of their, I believe, animosity. Yeah.
And so I agree for the most part, except I don't even think it's anger. I think the main thing they're feeling is fear. There's fear for you, fear for what this could become. And I think that fear will manifest as anger and a whole bunch of things.
Certainly fear.
They are so much more afraid of her than anything else and what it could mean for you. And while I do agree that based on like, I can tell that this like touches you. You said it was almost inconceivable that you wouldn't tell them. Like that is major. That says something about how close you are with them. You said you even contemplated breaking up with her because of how disapproving and unaccepting they were of this. So I definitely think this is worth working at for that reason. But I also think that, we talk a lot on this podcast about there's like an age. It sort of happens somewhere between like you're in your late 20s, your early 30s, where I feel like something happens that causes you to like break away from your parents. And it could be something that no one even notices, that they don't even notice. And maybe you aren't even totally conscious that you're doing it, but it's something that you see them as like flawed human beings and no longer as just like your ever loving, doting, supportive parents who, up until this point, you've done everything correctly, right? And so it's easy for them to just approve of all the things. It's like you've done exactly what they wanted for you. And that doesn't mean they don't love you, but it also, you've reached a point where you're like, actually, I'm an autonomous human and I'm making like a pretty like, I'm living my life. And whether or not that is a mistake, it's my mistake to make. You can't prevent me from making a mistake. And in fact, I think when parents try to protect their children by preventing them from making mistakes, you never end up becoming the person you're supposed to be. Let's say this does end up blowing up and it's terrible. I guarantee even after you pick up the pieces, you would look back on your life and be glad that you had done it because of what you had learned from it and the life, how full you had lived life. And their part in this is going to be trying to accept and seeing the effort you're making to show it to them for what it is. But you're going to have to work just as hard, if not harder, to accept that they might never accept this.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. Part of your work is going to accept that there's no chance on earth that they're ever going to be fully accepting of
Some
this.
of the best advice I ever received was,
well, Andy, we live in a time where we might want to learn things, but we are overwhelmed with the options out there.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but when I have an idea of something I want to like learn about, you have YouTube, you have a million like courses available near you, and you're sort of overwhelmed. You don't know if the instructor is necessarily any good or if they know what they're talking about. You're kind of like following the herd, right?
Wouldn't it be great to have a personal master class from one of the great famous people in the world who does the thing you want to learn how to do?
Yes, they are so good at what they do that they became famous for that thing, that specific thing.
And then you get to steal their knowledge.
You get to watch their masterclass. I have been watching Nancy Cartwright's voice acting masterclass because this is something I'm interested in exploring. And Nancy Cartwright does the voice of Bart Simpson, among so many others. I mean, who better to learn voice acting from than the voice of Bart Simpson?
And who better to learn guitar, which is what I've been doing, from Carlos Santana. Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman.
Oh, very nice. Exactly.
I got a black magic woman.
So Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn from 200 plus of the world's best. And this is across pretty much any category you can imagine. There's one on gardening.
Next for me.
There's one on improv. There's one on comedy. There's one on creative writing. Like with literally every single person is a household name.
And a whopping 88% of Masterclass members feel that it has made a positive impact on their lives.
Isn't that so nice? That's a great gift. If you are at a loss for what to give someone as a gift, the gift of knowledge, the gift of inspiration.
It's too good a gift. I don't want to tell people. I want to give the gift. If everyone gives it, and then
it's
I
not
give
creative.
it, I'm not going to be good.
Yeah, so should we take back this whole ad?
Maybe.
So right now, our Shandies get an additional 15% off any annual Masterclass membership at masterclass.com/Shandy.
That's 15% off at masterclass.com/Shandy, masterclass.com/Shandy.
some of the best advice I ever received was, you have to accept your parents for who they are and who they are not. Not just who they are, but who they are not.
Right.
And your parents, you've never actually tested these waters before. They might simply not be people who could ever wrap their minds around this to a point where they're able to just talk openly about it. And that just might have to be enough, is that they're not like disowning you the way, I know that it probably seems impossible, but there are parents on this planet who would do that.
Absolutely.
So
they've already taken the high road and not disowning you.
they deserve points for that.
So, And not no judgment on your situation.
No.
Don't take it that way.
No.
I just know what your parents are probably thinking.
I'm going to tell you right now, like I'd like to think I have really open-minded parents. My parents would have a hard time with this.
Oh,
Because for the
they'd have a
exact same
heart attack.
reasons, not because they saw me different. They probably would see me differently and be really like, but they'd be just afraid for me, and they'd be like, no, like we've lived longer. We're your parents. Listen to us. We're your parents. We want the best for you. We know this is a mistake, but they don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know.
But the only way you can show them is to show them.
Yeah.
You have to show them. You can't tell them, explain it to them why this is okay or why they should be happy with it. You have to show them, and showing them is going to take a long time and a lot of showing.
Yeah.
They're going to have to be, this trial is going to go on for 10 years.
And I think if there is a way to earn their acceptance, it's by showing them acceptance.
Exactly. Both parties have to be accepting. You have to accept that clearly they are not accepting this, and that's normal
and
for them.
You accept that. You accept that they maybe need time, and maybe it'll never be okay.
Yeah.
But that's like, it's difficult for you, but you do accept.
And try to swallow your pride. At times you're going to want to fight them. I don't know what your communication style is with your parents, if you fight at all, but there are going to be times where you have to bite your tongue, where you're like, I want to scream at you.
Do they ever address it, or do they just pretend that it doesn't exist?
They just pretend. So it's just never a topic, really.
That's not bad.
I think that's what my parents would do, honestly.
Yeah, your mom would just put her head in the sand completely.
They'd be like, what are you talking about? Who's this person? We've never met her. I don't know what you're talking about.
Your dad would be like, oh, Sharleen, she's funny.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, Sharleen, always up to something.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
Well, I actually have a lot of grace for them, because I think I would feel the same way towards my kids, So
Yeah.
Sure.
There you go.
I understand.
That right there, have you ever told them that?
No, I haven't.
I feel like that might be a good
That's
place
a great
to
thing
start.
to tell them. I agree. It's a great thing to tell them.
Because then it'll really show that you
Empathy.
haven't suddenly like gone off the deep end. You're still Hannah. You're still the mother of your children. You're still your husband's wife. You still are all the things that they know you to be.
Just fell in love with a woman.
Yeah. And this is something that you're navigating, and they have to trust you. Like there comes a point where you have to trust the child that you raised. And you can really start by being like, if I were you, like I totally get it.
There's a tendency, I think, for certain generations or certain people to think things like this are a sex thing. Like this is sex based.
Yeah.
And I think that's another
sex thing.
Sex. It's another reason to show her. Show her in the state she's in when she's with you. You're not just ripping each other's clothing off. You're actually having chats and smiling at each other and normal.
I love show her. It's like show
stuff.
her, like show and tell. Here she is.
Right.
Hannah, do you
I
think
think that's actually the one thing that they're not concerned with, because my girlfriend is asexual, so they know we don't have sex. So
Okay.
that's the one thing they don't have to be.
You don't
about.
you don't have sex with your girlfriend.
No.
Wait. Goodbye.
Andy has left the room? I think Andy probably wonders why that wasn't brought up sooner, but it doesn't really matter. I don't know. Okay, come back, Andy. Come back.
So you have a platonic relationship with her?
Well, I have a romantic relationship with her.
Why does it need to be labeled?
No.
They're in love.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying. So you're
just trying to figure it out.
Wow,
But does
this
it have
is this is too evolved for me. I'm not at this level. I can't comprehend what's going on here.
I think it's amazing. I think it's so
It's fantastic.
Cool. It's fantastic.
It's even greater than I thought it was. It's like I can't process this.
Yeah.
So you kiss her, I assume, and like make out and stuff? Okay, so you do stuff other than sex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whew. I have so many follow-up questions now. I don't know if we have time for this.
I think it's wait, can I ask who made the first move?
She did.
Okay. I think this is so exciting. I think it's incredibly evolved. And did we answer your question today, Hannah? Sort of, more or less.
Yes, for sure. It's all about acceptance. That's what I got from that, and show and tell.
I'm going to be honest.
I will try.
I have found acceptance to be the most deceptively difficult practice in my life. And it is, especially, around my parents, to be honest. And it seems so simple, right? Yeah, I accept you for who you are. But then it you want them to see things the way you see them, and so it's really like a Zen moment to let it go. So I'm not going to pretend it's going to be easy, but I do think it's going to be worth it.
I think so.
Wow, this is amazing. I am blown away. This is like you're from another planet. Like this is she's a species above us.
Yeah.
We're not quite there yet.
We can admit it. Want to
And
move
your
to the Netherlands?
husband, and your husband. Can we talk about him for a second? This guy should get a Nobel Prize.
Oh, because it's only an emotional relationship. Is what you're saying.
Everything.
Yeah. No, it's
He's
true.
incredible. Your husband is amazing.
Well, it's true because there are a
I
lot
know.
of partners who might be more okay with it if it were predominantly sexual, and that's it. Like,
yes,
not
it's
an
all
emotional-
emotion.
Yeah.
She's having a fully emotional relationship with another woman, with another person.
Yeah, no.
He's completely accepting.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go off with other women. He doesn't even want to hall pass. This guy he's a Jesus Christ.
What a great example you have of acceptance.
I know. He is amazing. And he's right. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Honestly, I bow down to you, Hannah. I think that you certainly win the award for like one of the juiciest questions.
This is
I
amazing.
think we've ever gotten.
Amazing. Can I have a relationship with your husband? Will you be accepting of that if we have a four-way?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, you have to ask
No
your husband
sex.
if he's into that.
Yeah. No hand holding, a little stroking, but no sex.
Just emotional.
Yeah, just
connections.
emotional.
Yeah. Okay, Hannah. Well, please keep us updated because I don't think we'll be able to sleep easy until
No.
we know what ended up happening in your story.
I think it's going to take some
I
time.
will for
but-
sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
And
This is great.
The evening for you. And yeah, thanks for being
And
a
good
Shandy.
for you for having your cake and eating it too.
Yes.
I mean, your
know,
parents
right?
don't approve fully. I mean, come on, you're going to complain about that?
I know. I'm still the luckiest person alive.
So
Yeah.
greedy.
And you live in
Hannah.
the Netherlands? Get out of here.
You are shunned.
I know.
Goodbye,
Thanks
Hannah.
for answering anyway.
Thank you so much for calling in, Hannah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
This is
you.
great.
Bye-bye.
Oh my God, I loved that one.
Wow.
That was so exciting.
juice.
And at the end, when she's like, oh, actually, it's not sexual, she's asexual, I was like,
I couldn't. I don't know. I had to step away.
Yes.
There was not a showmanship. I had to step away.
you know, I would be very interested to interview her husband, not because I believe everything she's saying. I just want to like get in his mind.
I want a love fest with them.
Yeah, I want to
Or
get.
three of them. Oh, come on. No,
Yeah.
I'm serious. We can get that.
You know, I think
Shandy's, would you want that? The three of them on a love fest?
I feel like her parents, like it's so easy to see why they're reacting the way they are.
course.
Especially they're a different generation. Think about even just the idea of non-monogamy, how that looks versus 20 years ago. You know how much more
yeah.
socially accepted it is. So I honestly think that if she ever does get their approval, she's one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
And so it can't be seen as like the default.
No,
you know what I mean?
you can't say I have to get their approval.
Yeah.
If it comes, great. If it doesn't, this is the price you pay for
Yeah.
having everything.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
yeah. You had to miss out on at least one
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. But
Gotta be a cost.
and I get her like, you know, it does feel like a sense of like, but you know, she just am I not right? Or am I wrong in saying that she seems super responsible?
Oh,
she said she's never really broken away from the status quo.
She's good.
Yes.
She's good. Can I tell you something? I have a feeling. I'm not saying I don't have a feeling. I think this was humble bragging.
Are you offended? Did
I
Hannah
think
offend you?
she came on Dear Shandy to
Just
humble
to
brag.
Yeah.
And I respect her game. Strong. That's one of the strongest humble brags I've ever seen.
I'm very curious to see what happens.
Think about what she said. I have a loving husband, 2 great kids. I have a girlfriend who my husband totally accepts, girlfriend who loves me, and my parents aren't totally on board.
Yeah. When she seemed
Rough
she
stuff.
said that it was not even possible for her to not tell her parents. I feel like that kind of gets to the root of the issue because she's so attached to her parents, like she's so close with her parents. You know, she's in her 30s, she's got children, she's got her own family. I think it's beautiful to want to tell your parents something like this. I really do. I think it's gorgeous. But I think that it suggests a level of closeness that can get you into trouble at some point when you become a full-fledged adult and like make your own choices and maybe do something they don't approve of, you know, that this is what's going to happen. all I'm saying
Well,
is
she went from like 0 to 1 million.
Yes.
You know, they had no basis for this kind of behavior.
Yeah. I don't know if, I think it's beautiful she told them, and I think it's going to be even more beautiful when I think they are going to come to accept it, because I do think that is going to happen.
Eventually.
That's my
Maybe
spoiler
it'll take
alert.
years. It'll take years.
It might take years. But I also don't think that she needed to tell them. Personally, I think it's beautiful, but like I think that there are a lot of situations where you just don't need to.
Oh, I disagree.
Oh, really?
I disagree.
Really?
She's evolved. She's from the Netherlands. She's honest.
No, I mean, I think it's the beautiful thing to do, and I think it's wonderful.
Oh,
but all I'm saying,
I am so happy she told her parents.
Yeah.
That's the right thing to do. She would have been holding on to that. It would have been like a pearl. You know how an oyster makes a pearl?
Yeah.
You know how it happens? Do you
Pressure.
know how it happens?
Pressure.
Not really. No, it's not. That's a diamond. You mixed up a. Oh, I don't even want to get into this.
Okay, hurry. We're on a timeline
All right, just because
here.
it's expensive jewelry doesn't mean it's made. Anyway, an oyster gets a little bit of irritation, gets sand inside of it, and it's irritating. So it does this thing where it creates a capsule around the sand. It excretes this thing that becomes this hard thing that becomes a pearl, and the pearl encapsulates the sand, and the pearl is super smooth, and the sand doesn't irritate it anymore.
Wow.
So basically, she had a piece of sand inside of her, which was this.
And it has the potential to turn to a pearl. What
turn
a
into a
beautiful
pearl.
analogy, Andy.
Thank you.
You put me in my place.
Diamonds are formed from pressure.
Okay, I think we answered this one to the best of our ability. I mean, this was kind of advanced level. It was both very clear to us, but I think like who knows what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
But she's beyond us.
Yeah.
She's evolved past our point. So brava,
I
Hannah.
mean, she's gone. She's left the building.
Okay, that is a wrap, Andy, for this caller session.
All right.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram, and
TikTok,
leave us Apple and
Spotify.
podcast ratings and reviews. Tell your friends, and generally do all the things you would do to support a podcast you enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye.